Meet Dre, a passionate voice challenging the norms of toxic masculinity. In his compelling interview, Dre shares his experiences and insights on redefining manhood, encouraging men to break free from harmful stereotypes. Join us as we dive into Dre's journey and uncover his powerful message of self-discovery. So we have a special guest on Think Different podcast, and he will be covering the topic of toxic men and giving us some insights on what he knows on this topic. Welcome, Dre. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. You?
I'm good. You're most welcome. So, how do you define toxic manliness and what impact do you think it has on a man's mental health?
So toxic masculinity is really social expectations and norms of behaviors that really prop up that old school stereotypes of masculinity. And we're talking about like dominance, aggression, emotional suppression, you know? And pretty much they look down on traits linked to femininity. So that's really how I define.
Okay. Have you ever felt pressure to conform to traditional male stereotypes? And how did this affect you?
Of course, I believe we all have. I believe we all have before. Um, how it affects me really and truly, and I think I speak for everyone when I talk about performance expectation. You get what I say? You have to conform to traditional male stereotypes. We have to meet certain performance expectations, and one of the main expectations we're supposed to meet as a male is really sexual expectation. There's no expectation on a woman to be met, but it's all on the male. And you'd hear it come out all the time. Oh, it's not good. There's been popped down. You never hear say a woman pop. You get what I say?
Deliver.
Yeah, man. You have always a deliver, man. And that is why you also would have seen all of these products out there, enhancement products, so to speak. You see me, for males, how many do you really see for females? But outside of that, we also talk about like traits such as strength and independence. You get me, I say? And males maybe feel pressure to excel in areas such as career success. And just to touch a little bit more upon that, you'll see a female working a regular job, a regular minimum wage job, for example, like a Burger King or KFC, some fast food restaurant, if I may say. You get me, I say? And you say, oh, she independent, man. Nice independent girl, a pay of her way, man. But the male who does the same job, you say, oh, I'm broke pocket. You understand?
Yeah, that's true.
Man. Yeah. And then when you talk about physical fitness as well, you're supposed to fit as a man. You get me? I say out in these streets. And when I already talk about the sexual force, for them prove them masculinity. You get me? And how that really affects males is that it leads to stress. You find yourself burnout and feeling inadequate sometimes. You get me, when you fall short of these expectations.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. But do you feel as if because of certain jobs, like you mentioned earlier, on like a food place, a food restaurant versus working in an office, is it just the job itself or it can be the task assigned to that job that people tend to stereotype when it comes on to either the male or female working at either of these places?
I really think it's it's the compensation package that is really attached to the job. Because, for example, you would have like, let's say, you'd have scamming. It's a nice compensation package attached to that. However, the road that it leads down to is not really one that is anybody famous. You understand? So in a way, both of them a legit job versus something that is illegal. A female will tend to, well, some females would tend to quicker to go to the one that is paying out fast cash. So it's really the compensation package that is attached to it.
Okay.
So the bigger your compensation is, the more attractive you are.
True. That's true.
Because I mean, if you have them two kinds that can rub together, trust me. If she can't find nothing for like on you, she also she like your shadow. Your shadow sexy.
Yes.
Yeah,
that is true. What do you think are some of the common misconceptions about toxic manliness?
Misconception. All right, so those stem from really misunderstanding and oversimplification of the concept. For example, a misconception would be challenging toxic masculinity means feminizing men. You understand? But just so you clarify that, challenging toxic masculinity does not mean that you're erasing or diminishing masculinity, but rather you redefine it in a more inclusive and healthy way. You see me? And it really involves promoting positive masculinity and values emotional intelligence, empathy, and respect for others, while rejecting harmful behaviors and attitudes. You understand?
Yeah.
Another common misunderstanding is that toxic masculinity is often viewed as an individual problem. You get what I say? But it's really not an individual problem. It's really something that is deeply ingrained in societal structure and power dynamics. So tackling toxic masculinity involves an all-out effort. You understand, from everyone.
That's true. But how can men support each other in challenging toxic behaviors and promoting healthier manliness?
All right, you see, as men, I like a question there. That I like a question there. Got me go touch upon something we not really do as man. You see me, I say? And this stem from the old toxic masculinity too. We not communicate because you hear say, yo, may express himself. My girl, you see what can't ball, so we tend for we tend for hold it, you see me? And that's how the thing come from and say, I hold it like a G, you see me? You know, really to say no be a thing, stress world I come down for you, the world I turn over. Yo, well, go on, you're good? Yo, me there, I hold it like a G, that man say, watch, some baby mother give me bone and be things in a dog, my heart broke up, You see me, how often you hear say a man, I say heart broke. Nah, really hear that. You have just know him personally if you know, say, yo, I got you a thing. So saying all of that to say this, that open communication. You see me? We need to have that platform that we can openly communicate. You see me? And create a safe space for open and honest conversation about masculinity, gender norms, and the impact of toxic behaviors. You see me? We need to encourage vulnerability and active listening amongst we G them, so to speak. You see me I say? With understanding and empathy. If you realize enough man of that one virgin we empower with that him tell everything. You see me? Because him trust him.
Right, yeah.
Me? Because the platform they really did it for you really express yourself. like a female now, she have our girls chat, our girls group, all our girls them know what go on, you see me? And a support her. Man really don't have that, you see me? And otherwise from that we are talk about like educational initiatives. You see me? We need to start engaging our educational efforts to raise awareness about toxic masculinity. You see me? And its harmful effects on individuals and society. You see me? We need to start organize some workshops and have some roundtable discussions. Have some groups so we can explore the topics related to gender, masculinity, and healthy relationships. Another way where we can support each other is lead by example. That are the biggest way. Because
Yeah,
them say
for real.
you are what you do, not what you say.
True.
So we can definitely model a healthy way and a positive expression of masculinity in our own behavior and interaction. Practice empathy and emotional intelligence. You understand? Um, well, so we can challenge the harmful norms, so to speak. Call it out. Yeah. I mean, the attitudes that reinforce toxic masculinity, such as sexism, homophobia, and aggression. We need to call out them things there and be willing to intervene in situations where others are engaging in harmful behaviors and advocate for respect and equality.
Right, yeah. But how important do you think a therapist play in all of this? Because you did mention about having organizations, having open channel of communication for these persons who go through these things or suffering from these behaviors and don't know how to correct them. How effective you think a therapist plays in this?
All right, so when it comes on to a therapist, they can play an integral role,
Right.
but also I have to remember say we as people on a whole, on a norm, we don't really trust people that we don't know for tell them our issues and our problems. You understand? And I
Right.
mean the therapist should be told they're getting paid, so they might just go along with it. You understand? They might just go along with it because they are getting paid. And that's why you have your little support groups. You might have your brethren, you might have your mother. And that's why we have even that little thing that we say, all right, then, who first cousin are always best friend, if you realize.
Yeah.
Anytime the family gathering, you always see them two cousins, they are rule like them are brother and sister, them are brother and brother. So
Right. Yeah.
I would more say the support, your support system is really your therapist. That is your therapy rather than someone who you have to pay. So yes and no, a therapist, but not a paid one. Very, very important. Very important. Because sometimes you're not thinking even level headed. You understand? And that person you
Right.
say, oh no, here we go on. And then when you really, sometimes you even got to take the talk right away. When you really go back and you're in a safe space and you're relax and unwind and that easy. And do whatever you do. Yeah, listen to some music. Yeah, drink something. You just relax. You really say, so what them these say. That makes sense. That make enough sense. So again, to answer your question, yes, a therapist is definitely needed, but not a paid one. I don't believe in a paid one.
And I like how you explain it because a lot of persons will say, just seek a therapist, just seek a counselor, just seek these professionals because I know what they're doing. But the way how you break it down, persons will relate to that to say yes, that's true because but I'm more feel comfortable talk to somebody when we can really reason upon a level versus somebody
Mm-hmm.
for going and so when them scan me, then probably say, yeah man, this person have a mental illness. And persons that tend for to hear that. They just want to know so you can go to that person, them can level out with you and them not tell you say,
Mm-hmm.
well, based off our observation or based off our research, we see that you are diagnosed with this or that. you know? So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
hear them something because immediately in our heads, we say, all right, then, I better than just tell me say my mother and done, because they never diagnosed me. I just say my
Yeah,
mother and done.
yeah,
So
yeah, for
I like
real.
the explanation I give because a lot of persons want to hear that aside from somebody saying, this person need to see a therapist, this person need to see a professional, not booting them out, but the reality is persons want to speak with somebody they can level out with, they can reason with, they can unmask without feeling as if they're going to be diagnosed and given
Mm-hmm,
medication.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes.
Definitely.
So what are the slangs in the street that men will tend to use if they might go through something or they want to reason them bridging, but some of them might go through? What are the slangs or what are the smoke signals to say, yeah, my bridging I go through something, something I go on with it mentally.
All right, so the smoke signal, very important, very, very important. Trust me. I normally tend to say, keep the ones them around who heard you when you said nothing,
Right, true.
and them they are the people them way when no say you nah man something alright. You not say nothing to them, you know. You're not
Right.
doing anything different. You're not doing nothing different, or
Yeah.
probably to you you're not doing anything different, but the person know you so much that they must say nah man off key, you know. Yeah man, my G off key, or they might say she might say you know some girl off key. You see
Right,
me?
yeah.
Yo, what go on? You see me? I say, no, I'm a good man, my dad. You sure? You sure?
Yeah.
You get me? I say. But separate from that, you ask what are some of the slangs that what?
You know, that are smoke signals to know that that person is going through something mentally.
Well, you don't really have nothing specific as I'm say. It's all dependent upon the person. Because if the person is a talkative person, then you see them get quiet. You
Yeah,
understand? Anytime you see them out of character, you know,
right.
say yo, smoke signal, something not right, you know,
Yeah.
something not right at all. You know, say all right then. Normally, hang out every Friday. You know, say yo, me I go home go bill, you know. Nah, man, something not right,
So the
something
right
not
so
right.
off.
Yeah, man, something is off, man. So I mean, the smoke signals they really differ. So you really have to know the person. You really have to know the person, and
That's true.
just just to kind of step away. You
Yeah.
also have to be emotionally intelligent to understand these smoke signals, and that's why I think that organizational behaviors they are very
Right.
important for persons to know, because when we're home, you know, or we alone
Yeah.
in the home, we can lock ourselves in our room, and we not really deal with the family, or we not deal with nobody, or we not take no call. You see me, we're up on airplane mode, or we go on alien mode,
Right. Yeah.
as with the artist and what I say. But it's when you're at work, yeah, man, you definitely, because you have to interact at work, have to. So that's why it's very important for persons to be aware of organizational behaviors and can call them out whenever they see them.
That's true. And do you think that for toxic men, they suffer from something that could be a possible trauma? It can be just relationship, previous relationship struggles, and it just changed them so them believe say being unhealthy with certain behaviors works for them. I just think that I just for them personality that.
Um, well, I think it sometimes comes from us trauma. It can be something where them grow up and see them parents indulge, you know. It can also be something that they employ because them see them role model do it, and it probably look like it a work on the surface. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. Them probably things say, all right then. I've been a do this all long and it not really work. So I decide to just make a change and try the toxic thing because I've done that too. I say, I do this
Yeah.
thing all the time one way. I do the thing right and it not work all right. We try the toxic way. Especially when you talk about relationships, you look on and you see how much toxic relationships carry on for years and years and years. You get me?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's definitely from trauma. Sometimes they think it's a trend. Because no, right now it's a thing to be toxic. Everybody are like, oh, but
Mm-hmm.
toxic. You see me? But
Yeah,
toxic,
it's
it's
celebrated
yeah man,
on
yeah man, it's
social media.
celebrated. It's a bragging right. You understand? So
Yeah.
much that you have a popular program under that name. You
Toxic talk.
understand? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
Yes.
it's a thing.
What advice would you give to men who are going through this situation where they're toxic? They just don't think that there's any way for them to change. They just think that, so must stay. They must lock into that way. What advice do you have to give them?
Them tell himself that man. Tell himself say them locked into that. The advice that I would give them is to you know, get help. Get help. Sometimes who we think is we have to analyze our circle. Sometimes our circle really foster these behaviors. You understand? So you have to look into yourself and say, need for change. Need for change. Likewise, myself as well. So I mean, you try the toxic thing and I look into it. I say, oh, this not working. No, sir, this not gonna work.
Right.
You have to look. You have to look further than your nose and look all the way down the road and say, oh, if I continue with this is where I'm going
Right.
to end. This is where I'm going to end up. And also your environment will play a big role in that
So true.
because yeah, man, when you're in a 100% toxic environment, you get what I say? It's just the norm. It's the thing. You not really see nothing different. You not breathe nothing different. You not think nothing different.
And then
Straight
your
toxic.
behaviors are being cushioned, so why change?
Yes, man. Yes, man. It's being cheered on. It's being glorified, especially when they talk about like physical abuse and a man get physical with a female. You say, yeah, man, she deserve it, man. Why should do that? Same
True.
thing. Say, yeah, man. Me in the right.
That's true. That's true. But do you think that social media plays a big role in it, as we mentioned about celebrating? Do you think that because it plays such a big role, that's where the change has to start in order to create a better space?
No, I think it's the other way around. It's not
Okay,
social media that influence it. It's us that influence the media because without us, there is no media. So
true.
it's what we do that is placed on those platforms. You get what I say? But some people, of course, are influenced by it. So it's all about what you idolize, is me. It's all about what you see yourself, how you see yourself. You have to want better for yourself. You get what I say? You have to want better, no matter how your support system is there and they might tell you, they might try steer up on the right path. You have to walk up on the right path. Or else you're not gonna know different. But
True.
the
That's
media
true.
will always be the media. The media is always toxic. As soon as you open one of the platform, then here's and this is just my estimation. You
Right.
understand? As soon as you open the media, the chances of you seeing something negative or toxic is probably about 95%. Very remote media, as you say, the like a 14-year-old start UTech, youngest student to ever be enrolled in UTech. That was a refreshing news for the media open a platform.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, so the whole media, it's really toxic from relationship stuff to deaths to violence of every form. It's very, very toxic. And I believe so in this day and age, if you're a regular user of social media, you have to manage your usage of social media. And me, I'm very cognizant of that fact, so much that I'm not probably one platform at the point. I don't do the TikTok. I don't do none of those stuff. You understand? Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
manage your intake of information. There's
True. That's very important.
too much negativity will affect you.
That's true. If you had a chance to come face to face with your younger self, what would you have said to your younger self?
Come face to face with myself. I tell
Your
myself,
younger
say,
self.
stay focused. Stay focused. Don't listen to the noise of the market, watch the sales. You understand? Only heap of people
Yeah.
are make noise and they're not sell nothing at all. You understand? Be nice. Just stay focused. Anything we want, you will get it. As long as you stay focused. You understand? And a lot of stuff, a lot of the permanent stuff that we want, the stuff that we actually want, we don't get it because we are focused on temporary stuff. So take for example, yes, I go on that trip in summer, right? But me keep on I go party every weekend. Just a mild example, me I go party every weekend. Just need to focus on that thing,
Right.
that goal. Yeah, man. Just have on your visors, focus on that goal. All right. And don't look on the little temporary 3, 4, 5 hour where you go in a one party versus the 2 weeks where you actually want to go in a Europe for. So that would have tell
True.
the younger self.
That's very good advice. And I do appreciate you sharing your insight on this topic. It was very informative. Thank you for being on the platform. Also, it was a pleasure having you.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. Pleasure is all mine to be here.